Well, guys, here we are again. I wanted to ask you, do you remember what the name of our first episode was?
Episode 00, the
not that one.
episode.
Not episode 0. Episode 1.
Unreleased.
Episode 1.
Why is everyone leaving Bowerman?
Bowerman craziness.
Yeah.
Something. Why is he running it?
Yeah, Ollie got it right there.
Wait, that was it?
That was it. Why is everyone leaving? Because that was a big story at the time. We kind of wanted to talk about it.
I can't remember who it was that sparked us talking. It was I think a lot of the women were leaving.
I think 5 women left in 1 week.
It was Gabrielle Stafford. I think
she was later.
Was she later?
She was a year later.
Maybe it might have been later.
Because she was doing indoors.
Colleen Quigley left.
Kate
left.
Kate had left that season. I think.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So we kind of talked about it.
Should we do a part 2 to that today?
Well, I would like to say
Episode 1, part 2.
Episode 1, part 2, and except
somebody's
on the market.
Yeah.
Somebody's single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, we got a new game show idea for everyone that we'll be pitching. But yeah, we have so much to talk about today. Obviously, the big Grant Fisher story. We have a recap of our gala. We have a little bit to talk about in our lives. Training week 1. And then also we had the big On Summit this week as well. And then there was also a big story that dropped in the Ingebrigtsen world. I don't know if they have a name for their equivalent of the Marvel universe. The Ingebrigtsen universe, whatever it is.
The Ingeverse.
The Ingeverse.
The Ingeverse.
The ICU.
That was
the ICU.
I mean, it doesn't. They got the reality shows.
Yeah, the ICU. Well, we've got an update in the ICU, and I'll tell you what.
A big shake-up.
That goes, I think.
Yeah. A big shake-up in the ICU.
Big shake-up in the ICU.
So much to talk about this week, but before we get into it, we do have a bean shout-out and a couple of other things, but firstly, the bean shout-out, Ollie.
Yeah, so we received these beans just recently from Anna, a local one. She works for On social media and helps us with doing interviews and all that sort of stuff. What happened though, the journey for this bag to get to this table was a bit longer than expected because she gave them to Andrew Weeding, our operations manager at with OAC, and I think he forgot. He forgot, and then he opened it up. And
he apparently forgot to give them to us for a few weeks.
He tasted the sample, and you're not supposed to taste the sample. Yeah, so he might have opened it up and grabbed a few beans, but
just making sure they were right.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that we were getting the highest quality, but he eventually gave it to us when Anna actually came back for the summit
and asked him
where the beans, and but we got them. We finally got them, and
where are they from?
Andy apologized.
So that's another cool story. They're all the way from Berlin once again. 2 weeks in a row, beans from Berlin. And the story behind that is she was wearing one of our shirts she went into the cafe wearing one of our shirts, and the barista was like, wow, it's a sick shirt. And then they got talking about it. And then I think I'm not sure if he gave her the beans or she just bought them, but yeah. That was the link to us.
I thought you were going to say the barista recognized it, but thinking it was cool was a pretty good second.
We were so close, so close.
It's like, well, if he recognized them, that's one thing, which is really cool. But also just being like, wow, that's a sick shirt is like
without
cool in a different way.
Yeah.
Without knowing.
Yeah, we've done well with that. But thank you, Anna, for these. These are going to be used very, very quickly, I imagine, because we are also running out of supply of beans.
No, we started on them today, I think. Yeah.
Isla Coffee Roasters in Berlin, I'm guessing?
Seems to be.
Yeah. The S is silent.
I have no idea.
I don't speak German. So.
Otherwise, it's like Isla. It doesn't look
Isla?
German.
Isla or Isla?
Isla.
I-S-L-A.
If it's German. Otherwise, it seems like...
Labrada said Isla, part of the ICU. Anyway, we're going to put that down, and thank you very much, Anna, for those beans.
Yeah, thank you. And a couple of other things. Our competition, the Camelback competition, is now over. Submissions are closed. We're currently in the review process, going through the emails. Last week we had 0 entries when we recorded. This week we have about 10 to 15, I would say. So we're excited to go through them. And the boys floated the idea of just giving everyone that submitted a bottle, which I think we possibly will do because we have enough bottles to give out to everyone. And we appreciate those submissions a lot because we do recognize that for this competition, we were kind of asking a lot from you in terms of making a video and sending it in compared to previous competitions.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah. So we want to reward the people that did do it to show you next time, you people that didn't do it, what you're missing out on.
Damn right.
And that you should go the effort. So that's the giveaway competition. We'll message all those people. Thank you for all the submissions. And then the last bit of housekeeping is we're going to start the New York Marathon hype train right now. NYC Marathon is, I think it's like, is it November 5th or 4th? Whatever the Sunday is.
November 5th, yeah.
So we're going to be there, and OAC is doing like a big thing. We got the Queen Helena Berry racing once again, and so the OAC, well, I keep saying OAC, but it's is putting together a cheer section, and the coffee club is going to be there in force, and we want to try to get out as many fans as possible, and so we're going to try to do some cool things, and one of them is we're going to have shirts to give away to everyone that comes, like custom made shirts for the event, which we'll put out. And Tom Wang actually had a really good idea to try like compile a list, a database of every fan who's racing. So get the fans to send in their like bib number or whatever, so we know who to look out for, who's racing for Coffee Club,
and we can cheer them on,
and we can cheer you on. So more details will come out about that next week, or maybe on the Instagram, but just want to get that started. We'll let you guys know all the information, but we would love to try and meet as many of you as possible at the New York Marathon, or see as many of you as possible running past us, and we'll be cheering you on. So we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks. But on to the big news, and we are recording late this week because of the summit. And it is so fortuitous because
it's fate. It's fate. It's
really
destiny.
Was.
Yesterday, the biggest news. Well, did the Ingebrigtsen story come out yesterday as well? Or was that the day before?
No, the day before, because I sent it into our group chat the day before.
The day before.
And I thought, wow, we've got something good to talk on the podcast. And then God just goes, you know what? I got something else. And
Grant said, hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Grant's Girls Season 2.
Grant's Girls Season 2.
Premiere of Grant Girls Season 2. Grant is leaving.
He's leaving.
He's single. He's out of here. He's single.
Wait, do we know if he's actually single or in a relationship?
We'll get Gus to check out the details, but
we'll fact check
that.
But
he's a free agent.
Man, I would say when I saw it, I was pretty shocked, and I always think that we're pretty like on the loop with this type of stuff, but this one took me really by surprise. I mean,
no one was talking about this beforehand.
No, because we knew,
and
I think we'll get into it now. We know of some other high-profile Bowerman members that are like 90% leaving, like almost certain, but none of them had announced.
They got one foot in the door.
Yeah, but like no one was talking about Grant. I mean, if you think about it, how like it's going into an Olympic year. He ran 7:25 like 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. The year before that, he ran the American record in the 5K and the 10K?
And the 3K?
Like,
and the 5K indoors.
Like
4 in 1 year.
So it's like, this guy seems like he's got it all set. However, one key change, what was that change?
The team moved to Eugene.
the team
moved to fucking Eugene. And you know what? All these rants and all the shit that I've said, somehow things have aligned in my favor. It's very vindicated because I think I wasn't at Florence 5K. I wasn't there. But Grant had a race that he didn't think was his best. And the chat in the cool down area was there was issues in Eugene. And there's issues with not being at altitude, issues with the team not getting the attention it needs. And this is just a repercussion from that. And honestly, it did shock me as well because, we're kind of on the loop with stuff. And we were all at dinner. It was the last night. We had the dinner with the summit. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, everyone's on their phone. It was like the Apple News app just came up and everyone's like, wait, what? This should happen? Like, it was the talk of the dinner from then on. But they moved to Eugene, and that's the consequence. I guess you lose I would say he's the face of Bowerman, right? You guys would say the same.
I say when you think of Bowerman, him and Elise are the
two. Yeah, him and Elise Coney are the faces.
The
golden kids.
Golden child.
Yeah.
Eugene has to be the first domino, and when we say we're shocked that Grant left, I feel like as soon as they moved to Eugene, we were open to the idea of anyone leaving.
That's true.
Like that point, we heard about all the discontent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at that point, you're like, all right, maybe someone will leave. But it took until. Well, is he the first to leave since they moved to Eugene? Like, because maybe you give it. They're like, all right, fuck it, we'll give it a year.
Yeah, I think some other people didn't move to Eugene, like maybe Amos.
Yeah.
Was he with them a year ago and then he left? I'm not sure.
Well, the interesting thing
he left before or after that.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I heard, which was this is alleged. I don't know if this is actual true because I haven't got truth from Grant. But apparently, the way that they found out that Jerry was moving to Oregon was that Grant was one of the references in the resume, and they called him up. The university called him up and said, "Oh, you know, you're coached by Jerry, blah blah blah. Like, can you talk about him?" And then that's how Grant found out. Was he was on like he got a call from Eugene, Oregon, saying that we're going to.
I thought it was for the press release. Like, how do you feel about it?
Oh, it could have been that too, but it was a call where he wasn't.
It was
told.
definitely a call.
It was a call, and he wasn't told. And then I think he told the team, and then the team told Jerry like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And Jerry's like, "Yeah, we're moving to Eugene." Yeah. Like, I can imagine if Grant was the first one to find that out.
Well, I mean, the mindset like has to be. In Grant's position, have the best year of your life training, career, best year of your career, in Portland, doing their normal altitude stints. You finish that year and then your team uproots. And you're like, fuck it, all right, give this 1 year. He's injured, comes like 9th in Florence, definitely tells everyone that he thinks being not altitude was like a factor in that. Misses Worlds, like there's got to be like so much discontent by the end of that year. Yeah, obviously he ran so well by the end because he is just
he's
like,
Grant Fisher.
He's one of the top 5 best runners in the world probably at that distance. So it makes sense, but you could see it coming.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And I think the altitude thing is a big one, and at some point we'll get to supposed relocations.
Yeah,
but I think that's going to be a big point.
It's like when we talked about Jerry taking the Oregon job and bringing all the Bowerman staff along with him and giving them also Oregon jobs. Like there was no staff left, I don't think, that had specifically a Bowerman job. It was just like, how is that going to work? Like, it didn't make any sense at all. Like, we said how crazy it was, and yeah, the proof is now in the pudding because you got all this shit going on with Bowerman, and then even like I don't even think the Oregon team is doing that well. Like, I don't know.
I have honestly
we haven't been following college very well.
We shouldn't say anything just in case. Like, I don't know.
And also he hasn't been there for that long, so it's like you wouldn't normally like be that hard on a coach after 1 year.
Well, I mean, Shalane Flanagan.
This is his second cross season, though.
Huh?
Yeah, I think he took over a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So this is his second.
Did they make NCAAs?
I don't know. I know they're not ranked very high right now, and they did get really good recruits, but...
I wonder if they're running. Another thing we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about the college.
Was Jerry available for comment?
No, not this time.
Not this time. Is he the Instagram? Was that his comment? Or?
Maybe he does run the Instagram.
That'd be actually amazing if he was running the Instagram.
He wrote that big caption.
Yeah. Remember those few people that didn't get a Bowerman goodbye from the Instagram?
Oh yeah, I remember that at the time. That was kind of contentious, wasn't it? I can't remember who that was specifically.
The funniest thing about the news is what Yared said.
What did Yared say?
I was in the gym and they were talking about it, and Riss was just talking about it, like, you know, like, oh, what's the possibility? What's Grant gonna do? You know, like the move, like why? Anyway, Yared's walking past with a 10-pound dumbbell, goes, "Whew, missed a bullet." And they kept walking, and I was like, wait, what? Well, I'm guessing he was recruited by Bowerman and he didn't pick it.
Oh, yes, and now I get it.
Yeah, but I just thought, it was just no context in it. I was laughing my head off.
100%, that's what it means.
Yeah, good old Yard.
What do we go to next? Where we think Grant's going, or what we think the rest of the team is thinking? Your best training partner just deserted your team.
This is my hypothetical, you know what? And it's going to lead into Grant's girls, because we're going to picture that he's single. We're going to picture that he's single. So, I think Grant's going to move to Denver and go on to Love is Blind Season 6.
Is that where it's
That's where
place?
It's in Denver.
It's in Denver?
It's in Denver. Recruiting's out now if you guys want to get into it.
Good to know.
He'll move there and then he'll meet the love of his life. Be great. And then all of a sudden, he bumps into someone. It's Pete Julian. Hey, Pete, how you doing? Pete Julian has a team in Portland. Everything was working well for you in Portland, particularly because you could go to altitude probably with the flexibility of Pete Julian's United Airlines club. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking a Pete Julian move, personally. I think that would be the best.
Who is the athlete that actually went on Love is Blind? There was like some athlete that...
Like a track athlete?
Can't confirm. There was like some athlete that...
We got to do some research on that.
Medium retired for a little bit, went on a... like reality TV show.
Was it Nick Simmons?
There is a girl. There is a girl from Australia. I don't know if it was The
Bachelor or if it was Love Is Blind or like The Shore or something.
There was a girl from Australia,
but then came back to sport. I think that 100% happened.
Yeah, I'm finding that No, this can't be who you're talking about. It was just, this is a former Ohio State athlete, was on season 4 of Love Is Blind. That
seems too niche for me.
That's probably not the one you're talking about. But Ollie, that's a really...
Managed to imagine that.
That's a really good...
that's a Grant's Girls confirmed that he'll go to Pete. And I think...
That's suggesting that somehow Grant and Pete hadn't already talked.
No, they probably didn't. They probably didn't. He probably was like Bowerman. And then now, I think if he looks... If I'm Grant Fisher, I'm pretty confident in my ability to be structured in my own life. I don't need... the really strong structure of a team. Pete Julian, I think, could suit him because Grant's pretty smart. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. And I think Pete will give him the flexibility of going to altitude if he wants to. Staying in Portland where he probably has a life. And like
Pete would probably just do whatever, like, he'd be like, whatever you want to do, we're doing it.
He would give him the,
I think Pete would be like the first person to call him, though.
Yeah.
Pete?
I think so.
Yeah, but we don't know where he's going. Maybe he's already confirmed it. Yeah.
Well, no, but that's what I mean.
Like, they've already talked.
It's
probably you're pretty much saying that you think they've already talked, like, they'll probably talk before Grant gets on Love Is Blind, is what you're saying.
I'm saying
it's the same. It's the same.
I'm saying that somehow they've before Grant has applied for Love Is Blind, I think they might have chatted.
I'm just saying, there's two things to this. All right, one, if you look at it like a freaking murder mystery, the butler usually does it, and I'm thinking Pete Joyne is the one that's the butler. All right, he's the one that's doing it. He's calling up Grant as soon as he knows or hears a whisper, and Grant's thinking, you know what? I have freedom, I have flexibility, and I can do what I know is going to work for me.
I want to go to Portland.
In an Olympic year. I'll stay. Yeah.
Number two, Love Is Blind.
Love Is Blind would be great because I think Grant would be fantastic at the show and he'd win.
I agree.
Which means
he's
such
a bachelor.
He's such a bachelor.
Unless he's in a relationship.
Can you win that show?
We win it by getting married.
Multiple people can win, technically.
Yeah, technically you can win. But I would say...
it's not really winning. Well, it's winning in some way.
Knowing Grant a little bit, I think he'd be great. So Grant...
No, he would. He's like so humble.
Yeah.
He's like so smart. He could
very
talk
nice.
about
From Stanford,
going to Stanford.
Olympian. Like
who wouldn't want to marry him?
Yeah, there's going to be a line at the door.
Talk about growing up in Michigan.
They'd have to change the name of the show. It would be
Grant's Girls.
Yeah.
And it'd be Coffee Club Presents Grant's Girls, and we'd be the hosts that come out, and Gus brings in the ring.
You know, it surely can't be that hard for us to like.
We could just set it up
to fund that show, and make it happen.
We'll have to get the CEO to sign off on it, but
Gus,
yeah, it should be fine.
He's into it.
In this situation, though, Grant's Girls are Pete Julian.
Did you see the Citrus Mags post? They put like 20 coaches out there. I know they're just doing it. They're kind of going down the route of like trying to be a bit ridiculous. So people say like, "What are you guys talking about? There's no way he would go."
Bobby Kersey was on there.
Like, Bobby Kersey on the list.
I see what you guys are doing.
That's awesome. Actually, honestly, Grant moving to Bobby Kersey would be the most flex move. Everyone's like, "Yeah, so I'm going straight down to the 800."
I want to go to LA. Like I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
No, Joe Bosshard was on there.
Bosshard was on there.
Andy Powell.
Mike Smith.
Chris Miltenberg.
Holcocker's coach.
Oh yeah.
Ben Thomas.
Ben Thompson.
Yeah. So there's a lot
Those
of
are Grant's Girls in this situation, I feel like.
But we had the animation, like Grant's Girls, and then you have them like walk out. And
you have other coaches walking through like some smoke.
And then they like you have the interviews where they sit down. He's like, I really need Grant. I really need this for my career. Like you have the
Grant
interviews.
Is amazing athlete. I think can really take him to the next level.
He shouldn't go.
This would be such a good show.
And then they start bitching about each other, and Pete's like, he shouldn't go to Ben Thompson. That guy doesn't know what he can do with a great person like Grant. I know what I can do. And then you just have them like, oh, it'd be unreal. Wouldn't it be a good show?
We should make this happen.
Good. Surprise guest comes in. Just like, yeah, I'm going to coach him. He's got no choice.
There'd be a surprise guest. Like it's like, you know how they bring people back? Jerry comes in on like episode 8. He's like, give me another chance.
Please.
Give me another chance.
It won't happen again.
It'd be so good. We're going to make this happen. Oh. Alright, so that's the most likely scenario, but I think the second most likely scenario, which I feel very confident about this just based on what the other Bowerman people have done. I think once you've been in Bowerman for as long as Grant has, 4 years, I think.
4 years, man. That's a long time.
The system, they have a system. I think they know what works for them, and they feel pretty confident about it. And I really got this vibe from, I spent time with Matt Hughes after he left Bowerman, and then also seeing what Woody did last year. I think these guys feel so confident in coaching themselves and just going to Flagstaff from January 1st. I don't know where Grant will be based in like this time of year, like in the fall. Maybe he'll just like be in Texas or something, but I'm sure he does want to train with people. But I'm so confident that he will like somewhat coach himself for a little bit, and then he'll end up in Flagstaff and he'll be working out with Mike Smith Elite. And I don't know if he'll necessarily be full on coached by Mike Smith or not.
But that's 90% of his athletes.
But the one thing that really makes me like maybe not sure about it is that he's such a direct competitor with like Abdi, and we know.
And Woody.
So was Woody though.
So is Woody, but I also think that Woody and Grant will end up together because I think like they really like each other and they like training together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they'll end up together. So maybe that'll be like what it takes to get Grant training with Mike Smith Elite. But I think he'll be in Flagstaff and he'll be like, yeah, I want to do some big workouts with some good training partners, and it'll end up being Mike Smith Elite. So he'll be like half coaching himself, half Mike Smith Elite.
I think the 5K PR average of those 4 guys,
oh my God,
is like maybe like 1250.
ridiculous. They're instantly the best like squad in the world.
Best 5K squad in the world easily.
Best 5K. So
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of a boring answer, but that's what I would.
That's probably the most realistic.
It's like,
How does he get to Denver?
It has to be altitude,
To
and
love his
he's not going to come to Boulder
yeah.
because Dathan is not one of Grant's girls
No.
in this situation. Because unfortunately, unlike in football or basketball or something, he's not actually a free agent. He hasn't. If only he could actually be released from his contract.
That'd make it
Honestly,
the show way
the
better.
show would be so much cooler.
We don't know the information.
No, we don't,
Maybe
but-
maybe something happened. We don't know.
Maybe
But
he put that clause in his contract.
but
if he was really smart,
if
he would've.
Ritz got that
Yeah.
call, I could imagine the first thing he would say to him, "What makes you think you could be part of our team?" And then you'd have to go on about, like,
Have you seen what Yard's doing at trade? There's no way.
"Good God, man, the legs are twigs." And I think, personally, with Ritz, if you got that phone call with Grant, Ritz is a firm believer in like a group visit, which I would think is stupid with Grant because we all know him. But I think Dathan would want him to like be passed through around the team and say,
Nah.
"Is Grant your girl?" You go to all the people in the team. Is Grant your girl? And if everyone gets to confirm yes, then he could join the team. But I think the Nike people are just going to be holding on to him for deal.
I think Grant would have whatever this show's equivalent is of like an immunity pass, where because he's the American record holder in the 5K, 10K, you can't say no to him. There's no way you can say no to him.
You look in his eyes and you're just like, I can't say no to this guy.
Here's a question though.
Yeah.
Based on recent history of Woody leaving and starting to coach himself, and I don't know how many weeks it took, but it wasn't very many.
Double threshold.
How many weeks do you think it takes until Grant is running double threshold?
I reckon
Because I think that's another
I don't think you
reason.
start week 1.
I think Mike
Yeah.
Smith is better coach than Jerry. I'm gonna say it. And
Did you guys hear that?
Wow.
That's
Grant
impressive.
was talking about like he was pushing the boundaries this year with Jerry, like running more than he ever had before. Apparently, these are the things he said in an interview, I think, and got hurt. But they obviously do like those big single workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Mike Smith, starts splitting some stuff up, pushing the limits of like in another way.
That's
I reckon he does it like next week, probably.
next week. I could see
You
it.
guys are missing a key point with the Flagstaff stuff. If he's living there, how's the Bachelor life treating him in Flagstaff? Really, realistically. You guys are thinking on the wrong side. I think you'd do great in Portland.
What do you mean? George found he's loving.
Yeah, but George was in college. Grant, I think, is too old to be sitting in the lectures. Maybe he's not. Maybe he could do his PhD or something.
Worked
But-
well for another Bowerman athlete.
Who are we talking
Oh,
about?
God.
Who are we talking
Sorry.
about? I remember us talking about this on the podcast, but I
Oh,
actually can't remember
God.
who it was. Oh, no, I just remembered. Sorry, this is something that we actually can't say on the podcast.
No. Continuing on.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Portland, I think Portland is going to have the system for Grant's girls. But Flagstaff, I haven't been. So maybe there's a Grant girl out there.
You don't know what Grant's into. He might be into a mountaineering type lady.
Where we can get that.
Where?
Boulder. In Boulder, if he comes here, they always say.
No, you just get a tit girl wearing wearing
Yeah.
hiking clothes
Yeah.
to make it look like.
Honestly, I shouldn't be picturing it, but like I'm gonna keep stirring it up. Grant on OAC would be hilarious though. It would be actually funny if he was on the team because like
That'd be so cool.
he'd be the nice guy that everyone just like would be able to like just there's Grant,
Yeah, it's Grant.
It's Grant. Yeah.
It's Grant.
We can make a little jousting, little joshing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he would be so loved on the team. That'd be amazing. But to answer your question, George, about the double threshold, I think he probably will start doing it because I think it's like, it's common sense to do it. No, I shouldn't say that because we don't do it. But
It's common sense in that situation.
Like for him. But the thing with Woody is, so when Woody came to Boulder, the difference between Grant and Woody is, Grant did get injured, so maybe he does feel the same way. But when I asked Woody why he was doing the double threshold, and he pretty much said, he was like, Well, at Bowerman, like we just train so hard all the time. Like their threshold is like harder than threshold, is what he told me. And so he's like, and I've done that for so long. So I kind of just want to try to do the opposite and change it up. And so he really wanted to do something different training wise. I'm not sure how much Grant wants to do something different training wise. You know what I mean? Like maybe he still does feel like he wants to keep doing the same thing, but I think it just works. So I think he probably will start doing it pretty soon. And yeah,
he could also just like jump in double threshold and then push it harder than the other boys. Like, is Mike gonna stop him and like kick him off if he's
those
gonna
boys
go?
do pretty hard double threshold.
Well, there you
but
go.
that's not the point though.
Well, the harder training.
Yeah, but if you're doing double threshold, I think I think
that's the easier training.
Yeah, you're also. I think if you're choosing to do double threshold, you're choosing to do slower threshold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so you're saying that he couldn't just go, well, this training really worked for me, but I hated the move to Eugene. If I move to Mike Smith's group, I want to keep that training of like just running harder than threshold. He won't be able to do that with double threshold.
I don't think it'd be smart. I think
he could pull.
I think he'd choose one or the other.
Okay. I think he'd want a clean break. I reckon he's down to try
just
something.
a reset.
I reckon a few of them don't think it's sustainable to train like that forever.
Like the Bowerman way.
Yeah,
I agree. And he's so smart, and I think he's also so confident in like how good he can be off like probably any training.
He's pretty handsome too.
He's really good looking. He's really good looking.
Oh, Grant.
I think you watch like Luis and Abdi run and race, and like it's clear that something's working.
Something is working for those guys.
So Mike Smith pepper in the seasoning.
It is
Mike Smith effect.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously is like, they do push the limits. But if I think you're as good as Grant, then you think that you can handle it.
Yeah, I mean they do push the limits, but that's probably what Grant was doing at Bowerman with the big VO2 max sessions. Because like I think that's the way it ends up being. Is like, yeah, you want to keep your threshold like contained, but I still don't think anyone has an issue with like on those big sessions like really getting after it. And I think Mike Smith's guys do it, Bowerman does it, we do it. Like the big sessions are going to be very big no matter where you are, and that's where it's really important to have the training partners to help you like do crazy stuff,
and the environment too.
Yeah, and because it's crazy. Like, just think back to, like, the mile that you guys did in training. I think, like, before that, you would have never thought that the whole squad could do that in the way that you guys did that, I would think, until you had each other and you went and did it. Like, it seemed like a big deal, and then after speaking to you guys, you were like, yeah, it just, like, it was hard, but, like, it was very doable.
Well, even Jonas talking about it, because he's never done anything like that before, he was like, it was crazy how we handled that part of the workout. So yeah, you're right. I wonder with Grant's Girls season 2, when he's going to announce it. Surely it would be soon.
I might just depend on like some things he's got to work out, because maybe he doesn't know.
But if it's like Woody, if it's like Woody, like he couldn't ever really announce it because, as we know, Mike Smith Elite not a team.
It's not a team. It's
obviously is a team. So but like Woody can never say, yeah, I'm on that team, because it's not a team.
So the more time it takes, the more likely it is Mike Smith.
I still think Grant's leaving now. I think he's smart enough that he already has his answer on where he's going. He wouldn't leave Bowerman without the next step.
But that's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if he feels confident that he could coach himself
for a little bit
and go to Flagstaff,
at least for the 4.
Because that's what Matt Hughes did, and that's what Woody did. They both were like, I know I can coach myself, and I'm going to go to Flagstaff January 1st. And
then try and sneak into some workouts with Mike Smith.
Well, because that's like the way it works in Flagstaff. It's compared to here in Boulder.
It's much more communal. Yeah,
like for the big workouts, like if you're there and you're really good, people will be like, yeah, I'd love to have you come help my workout. So it could play out like that, Who knows? But the next question that George brought up earlier is the rest of the squad. And I think all of us would feel the same way. I feel really bad for the people who just joined the team.
Charles Higgs, Duncan Hamilton,
Justin Knight, who all would have been like, that's like, I'm looking up to that guy. And then, I mean, there's still so many amazing athletes on the team. Sean McGaughty, for example, we know he's known for like crushing.
Sean McGaughty.
Sean McGaughty, yeah, that's him. So it's not like everyone's gone, but Grant is is the biggest. So that does kind of suck, because we know how it is. People give up like lots of money sometimes to go join Bowerman, and part of what you are expecting to receive is Grant Fisher as your training partner. So that's got to be kind of tough, and that's just like sucks. But shoot, I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about what we know about other people leaving? Well, okay, so the Cooper one, like I've seen Trackstar like said it as if it's like
or if Trackstar's saying it, we can definitely say it. Cooper's leaving Bowerman.
No, but like people have said it as if it's official, but I don't think it is official.
It's not official. But isn't that saying, well, they're saying that he's moving with Holcocker to Ben Thompson's group in
Virginia. He's going back to VT.
Which is where's that? Sense. Where's Virginia?
I'm not sure.
Do you actually know where Virginia is, George?
Like where in the
world? If I gave you a map of the United States, actually no, the world, could you like point at Virginia?
I would be pretty confident. Yeah.
All right, do it.
For sure.
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Bring up a blank state there. But I don't know if I could say where Blacksburg was.
Could you? It's on the east. It's on the east.
It is on the east.
On the east.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would have said the opposite because I heard it's at a little bit altitude.
Blacksburg. I don't know if Blacksburg is on the east.
I would want to say that's at the other end of the state.
So the Virginia state is in the central.
No, the state is on the east. We're talking about if the city is on the east.
Oh no, I'm just talking. State. Oh, okay. So
the state is almost on the coast.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
Well, it like
what
touches
are we?
DC.
Are we just central?
It like touches DC.
Colorado's
central.
Pretty central.
We're pretty bang in the middle.
We're pretty central.
A little west of
Central. All right, let's get back on.
Blacksburg apparently it's altitude.
Is it really?
It's not actually. It's like 2,500 feet. Does that do anything?
It might help Gus.
Gus, are you the science expert here? Does 2,500 feet do anything?
Gus would struggle. It's at 2,000 feet. Population of 45,000.
I think 30,000 of those are students.
Area code 504.
God,
what else do you want to know?
What else do we want to know about Cooper's new home?
1798.
Oh my god.
That's an old city.
That must be a chiller place.
They play Metallica before every football game.
Seriously?
Oh, they're that one.
They're that one.
That's pretty sweet. Anyway,
So how official is that?
We don't know.
We should have got Cole on this one. He's somewhere in Colorado.
Is he?
Yeah. Cole Hocker is.
Yeah, well, apparently that group is going to be doing training camps at altitude, and we know that they like coming to Boulder.
They do like Boulder.
There's a good chance they'll do a couple of stints in Boulder. Yeah, all the OTC, I don't know what they're called now, but...
Who's fun? Do they have a sponsor?
I think Cole sponsors them.
The Cole Hocker's OTC.
Cole Hocker Elite?
Cole Hocker Elite.
I actually have no idea how it works, but I'm pretty sure, like...
Was it New Gen Elite?
No, you can't say that.
It's not New Gen Elite.
You can't say that.
But if Cole and Cooper are back, the CCs are back together. Great chips, by the way. I think that will be pretty much confirmed hopefully soon, because the way it's been talked, you would expect Cooper to respond to that kind of noise. Like if people were saying, "Oh, Gus is leaving Coffee Club, he's going to sit and kick," we would know. We would know. And the fans would know because he wouldn't be turning up. He's here right now. He's not going to sit and kick.
He would be turning up, and that's the key, is that it is close to the time when most professional teams have to be back turning up. So
we'll find out.
If Cooper's not there,
we'll find out in the Instagram feed on the stuff. But also, can we talk about the other one?
I don't know if we can. George, I'll let you decide.
I have no idea if we can do that. We could just say that there is another one.
There is a person that is very familiar with Colorado that might be.
Well, you just gave it away. Well, I guess everyone's familiar with Colorado in some way, but yeah.
Either way, my question is, and this is a genuine question. I'm not being a dickhead. This is my genuine question. Do you think Bowerman's just going to dissolve? Because I think Jerry's committed to the college program. I think that's what he wants to do. That's what he's passionate about, and he'll be really good at. I don't think he can do this Bowerman thing anymore. I think it's going to dissolve. I think this could be the straw that breaks the camel's leg.
I knew you were searching for some way to make that.
No, you didn't.
Different.
No, you didn't. No.
That was
completely natural.
I saw the way you lifted my eyes. I was like,
it's completely natural.
He's not going to say back here, is he? He's going to say something different.
Completely natural. But I think this could be the end of Bowerman.
Well, I think there's still some really key people there. So I think while they're there, it will still exist. But I 100% see what you're saying. And the sad thing is that I had heard at one point, because back in the day, back when I was looking at joining Bowerman, Jerry was trying to get the job as the head coach at UNC for a little bit, which is like a really random thing. And apparently he was really frustrated at... it's funny because like he was kind of frustrated, like the Stanford guys like Grant and stuff. He was frustrated at the level at which they were at training wise coming out of college. So he was saying, I want to go to college and make these guys train harder so that when they get to the pro level, they're more ready to handle my training.
I do remember that.
Like that was like a thing. And now it's just like, well, how's that going to work now?
Because that's still probably what he's thinking about, yeah.
But like all your good pros are gone. Like it doesn't even work anymore. So
recruiting wise, it's not looking good either.
Yeah.
Just recruiting in general, like if you're an NCAA star and you're coming out of college right now, Bowerman probably like even last year was probably your pick, you know, like one of the best teams in the world. And now it's like, shit. Like,
but if all these people leave that we think are going to leave, you would have to think that like Jerry would feel so, I hate to say it, but he's probably so like emotionally attached to these people. Like, well, I don't know if emotionally attached is the right way of saying it, but he's like coaching them would really excite him. Like coaching Grant would really excite any coach, you know? So when you lose people like that, it's got to definitely make you question it a bit more. And then he's got this whole Oregon thing.
Could push him into the Oregon thing even more. You know, Grant's gone out of my control. I'm going more into developing these guys with the Ducks. So
I almost think Bowerman just needs a new coach. I feel like Chris Zielinski will just split.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's got a job with Oregon.
Yeah, but apparently he's like does more Bowerman stuff.
Oh, so he is actually like the Bowerman coach.
I don't actually know.
Jordy, you're just telling us now. That's big news.
Fact, yeah. 100% fact. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go with it.
Yeah.
Well,
but they could see that.
It's necessary.
They're going to need...
It's necessary.
A pro team needs a new coach.
You know who they should put in there? Bobby Kersey.
What do you think he would prescribe them?
I don't know, but like he wins gold medals. You want gold medals in the distance, put Bobby Kersey in charge. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good idea to just get rid of the Bowerman thing and then maybe revamp it somewhere else. It's not going to work in Eugene.
Denver. Bring them to Denver.
Denver?
Love is Blind season 6 is about to happen. You got to get in here.
You know where I think the Nike group should be?
Where?
Salt Lake,
Utah.
Lake. I think that would be the best place.
I don't know if you can live there all year.
No, but like it's the same with Boulder.
You definitely can. Yeah.
And there's a person in Salt Lake who just got married, who was a Bowerman.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Matt Centuous.
Oh, he got married in Colorado.
But he lives in Salt Lake.
Does he?
Yeah, he has a house in Salt Lake. So I think that's where Grant did a lot of his training. I think that's where Bowerman did a lot of their training, and it's really good training in Salt Lake.
Well, I guess they
were there for months.
They come down to Salt Lake.
They were there for months. Well, maybe they could go higher later in the year, but I'm thinking based-wise, like living Salt Lake City.
I don't know if anyone wants to do that.
I think they should dissolve Bowerman and put it in Salt Lake City, and then Utah can have Love is Blind season 7. So
I think Chris Zielinski takes them to... I don't actually know where.
Would you keep them in Eugene? Do you think like Chris Zielinski would just leave and then just be completely separate, or do you reckon he's always going to be?
I think they got to leave Eugene.
Yeah, I think
I agree. With
I think we take all the current Bowerman athletes. We ask them, where do you guys want to go? We teleport them there, and then Jerry does what he wants to do at Oregon. He coaches a class that he recruits for 4 or 5 years, and then they become pro runners, and then they stay with him and they start new. And then this is the revamping of the Oregon Track Club as well. And then the Oregon Track Club is actually like ex-Oregon runners.
Not Shoemaker Elite.
Shoemaker Elite also rolls off the tongue very nicely.
I was thinking, what about this side move on buys Bowerman and just calls it the BAC?
What's that stand for?
Bowerman Athletic Club.
Makes sense.
We just buy them.
How much do you remember one time we were asking how much OAC... What were we talking? No, we were talking about Coffee Club or OAC?
Both.
How much they're worth? How much do you reckon Bowerman is worth?
Bowerman? I reckon probably...
Well, now that Grant left, probably like...
They just... Their shares just freaking tanked.
They just lost a lot of value.
They should have sold. They should have sold 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I think they peaked.
We should have shorted them. Well, we didn't.
Do we think... I think Bowerman is over the peak no matter what they do, though.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I can't see them getting back to the day.
As Justin Bieber said, never say never, but...
They won 4 medals a couple of years ago.
See, the Biebs came back. The Biebs came back.
Yeah, when he went into Tropical House, when he went into Tropical House, it really was a good reinvention. So
he came back.
I'll give them the leeway for one major reinvention because up to this point, I guess moving to Eugene was kind of a reinvention, a very negative reinvention. But I'll give them one more chance for a reinvention.
That was a pretty backward step. I would hate as a track as a person in track and field and as a fan, I really hate Bowerman to dissolve, but I think it's more likely to happen now. Unless they do something drastic like move the team away from Eugene, get a new coach, or just fucking restart something else.
I hope it just happens slowly so we have more to talk about. If it dissolved next week, we'd run out of topics.
They give us.
It would be a great topic for next week. We just talk about the history of Bowerman. But I mean, it's crazy. The environment in Pro Bowl is crazy. Like from the past, ever since we joined as professional athletes, look how much has changed. Yeah. Just like it's crazy. You'd never think when I signed my contract as a professional runner that Bowerman would be where it is. I would never think that.
Especially because we're the generation that grew up like worshipping Bowerman.
Yeah.
Like they were the good guys and they were also the successful guys.
Everyone wanted to be part of their team.
They were the good guys.
They were the Patriots.
The good old days. The Patriots.
Yeah.
When people hate the Patriots.
Well, they're the Patriots now. They suck.
Oh, they're the Patriots now.
Yeah. Wait, Patriots is basketball. No,
what? Flag football.
What team are we?
Flag football.
How are you?
What team are we?
Should we go to the Olympics in flag football?
Yeah, why are they adding flag football?
We could definitely put Gus in. He could be our manager with the headphone on.
I thought it was going to be a lineman.
He could be our lineman too. Actually, he'd knock people out, man. Yeah. Jump for the ball.
I have been loving those videos. It's like when a running back comes in against it's like a Finnish primary school teacher.
What are you talking about? Where have you been seeing these videos? I've never seen George laugh this much before.
Wait, so it's a flag football.
Too late. We've been.
It's a flag football, and it just runs into a teacher.
No. Yeah.
Is that pretty much it?
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's pretty good though.
I gotta see this video.
No, they're just NFL videos. Someone getting crushed. Saying that it's like a primary school teacher from Finland,
it's saying what the Olympics
what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like an NFL player.
Yeah, literally.
Well, the NFL's encouraging it. They're encouraging their players to be part of that team.
So what team are we?
Yeah, what are we? That was
What team are we?
What NFL team do you think we most represent?
Oh, easy. Cincinnati.
The Bengals? Who's Joe Burrow? Joe Clegger?
No. Joe Burrow's obviously Yard. Obviously Yard.
That's a tough one.
Or we could be the Chiefs.
I don't know enough about football.
We could be the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are just like...
Whatever manager looks the most like Reds, I think that would be the funniest.
The Chiefs, for sure. Also, like...
I don't know what the managers look like.
You know, the Chiefs, because, we're Swifties, so...
Good reference. Shout out to Travis Kelce. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
All right. Do you guys think we've talked about Bowerman for long enough, or should we talk about them some more?
I think Grant Scales is concluded.
Do you think we'll get the green light on that?
We'll have to talk to producers. But I think personally, like, if you look at Grant, and obviously our Coffee Club fans will know Grant, he's an easy sell. Yeah. Easy sell. So that's not our problem. It's just about us getting on front of the camera.
Yeah.
And be able to hold a straight face. But yeah, I think that's enough for Grant.
So maybe no, we shouldn't do this. But if you want to submit an application to Grant Scales, slide in our DMs and we can start putting together something.
Yeah, we'll set you guys up.
We'll get some budget for it. I was wondering.
And we'll film it.
I was wondering if Grant would come on our show. We'll talk about this more off.
Have we ever asked him?
I kind of asked him, but it was kind of like I felt like. Those guys...
It was like ask him out.
A year ago, I felt like they had a bit of there was a bit of a bitter taste in their mouths just because they felt protective over Bowerman and we'd said bad stuff about Bowerman. And like I understood it. Like I asked Woody, I'm closer with Woody, and I asked him to come on. He's like, no, I will never come on your show. Like he said that. And I think maybe that would change. Because that was when he had just left Bowerman, so it was more fresh. But he's like, out of principle, I can't come on your show.
Out of respect, I haven't called them Bowel Movement Track Club this episode. So.
Not yet. Not until now. So maybe he would. But that's the crazy Bowerman Grant Scales fiasco. So cannot wait to see where it takes us next. But the next big thing for us to talk about is we have a lot. I think we need to do a little bit of a Gala recap just because we hyped it up last episode to give our fans some closure. If you're in my Discord, Tom Wang was streaming it for about 3 minutes. So there was a bit of a virtual party going on. But we ended up throwing together a pretty good bash, I would say. And a lot thank you to Tom Wang. Like he came through once again. and save the day. I would say we were slightly more prepared this year than last year.
Because we had a meeting about it beforehand.
But still, we couldn't have done it without him, and I think all of us pulled through in the end to make it into a good party. Thank you, everyone who came.
Yeah.
We were going to, okay, so this is kind of my assessment of it, is I had plans for the party, kind of. Not plans, but I had a bit of a list of oh yeah, we should do this at this time. And then as soon as the party started, which was really early, by the way, people were here at 7:00, which we didn't.
We showed up on time.
We were what's going on? But as soon as people started going on, I just was out of it mentally. I was
time to let it go.
Whatever happens, happens. And so I felt it was a good time. I wish there was more dancing. That's my one main gripe, is I wish there was more dancing. And I wish that we had announced a king and a queen, because
we had the crowns.
We had it ready to go. So
crowns.
We had it. Well, it was funny at the end of the night. Not to call them out, but at the end of the night, Charlie Lawrence and Allison, they came late, and I think they weren't in costume because they were late to the party, right?
No, that's my bad.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you.
I invited him 2 hours before.
They came late. They got a late invite. They came in. They weren't wearing anything. But they're having a good time. Anyway, I was seeing during a speech or a drinking thing, I saw them both wearing the crowns, I think just to try and blend in with everyone else in fancy. So I gave them kudos for that when I saw that. But yeah, we did have a king and queen thing, and we didn't really announce it. Do you want to officially announce?
I think we should.
Yeah? What do you think, George? Do you think you have a person in mind? Or people in mind?
I'm trying to remember.
George is blacked out the whole time.
George was not present at the gala.
So maybe we can each do our own.
Okay.
I can't think of a queen off the top of my head.
Do they have to be together?
No. But so the easy one for me, for my king, is a man by the name of George Kelly. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
And he just always turns up and just has such a good time and brings the energy, brings the dance. He's the first one to start dancing when it's really awkward and no one wants to dance. And so that's one of the most important things. And what makes it even more special this year is I invited him the day before. And the way that I invited him is I asked him hey man, because I know he lives in Colorado, but I don't know exactly where he lives. I'm hey man, are you in the Boulder area? And he was yeah. And I was oh, well, we're having this party tomorrow if you want to come. He's sweet, I'll be there. And then when he turned up, I found out that he took Boulder area very loosely, and he had driven 4 hours to come out from Alamosa.
That is not the Boulder area.
You literally said Boulder area, and he's yeah, I know where Boulder is.
He's driven 4 hours to come here.
That is so impressive.
In his van. So
what a legend. What an absolute legend.
Yeah.
I think that is deserving.
Yeah. What's your queen?
I don't know. I was just with Cinta. I can't is that a cop out to say?
No, you can say Cinta.
Cinta was my queen because I liked her outfit a lot.
Right.
We had a good time. We danced together. So
all right. You kind of took my king away from me, but I'll say another one. I'm gonna say Tom Wang. And the reason why I say Tom Wang is when you think of fantasy and stuff, people think of dragons, witches, goddesses, all these, even sci-fi characters. People would turn up as sci-fi characters. But
a lot of Harry Potters, by the way.
A lot of extreme amount of Harry Potters. I'm pretty sure people looked over our fence, they'd be why is a Harry Potter party and somebody wearing a freaking goddess costume? Anyway,
it was half the party.
Half the party was Harry Potter, which is great. I mean, there was a lot of left ones as well. If you left your one, we'll reach out to you and send it via post, because I think a lot of people left their ones in the backyard. It just sticks. Yeah. But in general, my king, I'm going to say Tom Wang, because he went as a serf, as a peasant servant. And he was in character 2 days out from the guy. He just kept going, Morgan would be hey, Tom, can you do this? And he goes, of course, my lord. He'd be in character, which was hilarious. But he also we had a painter, face painter, which was fantastic. That was a lot of fun, and people really got behind that. So thank you for that. That turned up and participated in the face painting. But Tom was I'm gonna get some bruises, and I remember during the night, had a few drinks. I'm starting to started to feel it, and I just look at Tom, and he looks like he's been beaten to a pulp.
He had a black eye painted on.
He was just a peasant, and I thought it was hilarious. And I give my peasant my king, so I'll give him the king title.
Wow, what a story!
Yeah, what a
glow from serf to king, just like that.
In 1 week.
What an absolute transition. As for my queen, I want to give it to Big Al. Alyssa. Snyder's girlfriend, because she was dressed as Padme, and I can tell she put a lot of detail and effort into it. Sci-fi fantasy, kind of, we're meshing it together here, but I really loved her outfit because then her boyfriend Snyder wore like actual Jedi robes. He had like Anakin.
They were outfits
pretty
were some
awesome,
of the best.
and the Padme that Alyssa had was great. So I'm going to give her my queen. So
nice,
George.
I'm gonna give Nick Harris.
Yeah.
King
I'm happy he got it because we had to come back
live.
He was great music. As well. He was fantastic.
So that was definitely huge. The highlight of the party as well.
Definitely.
And the funny story behind that was I was getting really nervous because I don't know if this was part of his bit, but he kept telling me he was too nervous to perform. Because I was looking at the time, I was like, yeah, Nick, you should probably like perform soon before people get like too like crazy or anything. And he was like, no, I can't do it. He kept saying my lips are chapped. He kept saying my lips are chapped. My lips are too dry. I need a drink. And but then eventually it took like a good like 45 minutes for it to actually get him to do it. And then as soon as he switched on into performer mode, he wasn't just a singer. He was a performer, comedian. He was in character as a jester.
He was.
And he got good laughs as well, like good laughs. It was great.
The crazy thing is he was playing like all original music.
Yeah.
Like that was like all like his own songs and like so and people were dancing, having a great time. So great pick.
Very, very, very well deserved.
Yeah.
And then I better give Jenna queen because it was her birthday.
Like,
look at us just giving our partners.
Yeah.
What a cop out. But we have to. You can give Song your second queen if you'd like.
Yeah. Think about with cowboy boots though. Like I don't know if that's beating Padme. It is. It actually does give a good layer of it. It does give a good layer of it.
It definitely works for her.
Did you hear the outfit that she had planned? That was like I was like sci-fi. I can't do it. It's a Jabba the Hutt Princess Leia outfit, slave outfit. I was just gonna be a big fat Jabba the Hutt, and she was gonna be.
I would have loved to see
how could you put line through that?
Huh? Because it's not. Because I was like, oh, we gotta do more fantasy. You can't do like sci-fi. Because then, like when I was talking to like, and I wanted to be a wizard. I really wanted to be a wizard so bad.
I mean, your wizard was very good.
I wanted to be a wizard so bad, but I think she thought it was funny. So. Which I thought would be hilarious, but I was like, that's more sci-fi.
How would you have dressed up as Jabba the Hutt?
They have like an inflatable one you can buy on Amazon.
Just a massive Jabba the Hutt. That makes sense.
What makes it sci-fi and not fantasy? Why is Harry Potter fantasy and not sci-fi?
What I told Ollie when we were talking about it, I said, if you went into a bookstore, there would be a separate sci-fi and a separate fantasy section. So there is a distinction. So I guess we could ask the bookstore how they do it.
That's why that's the analogy that kind of helped me. And I really fucking want to be a wizard. I had the best time. I had the best time in my costume. I loved it.
You had a big
surprising that no one took on the best fantasy TV show, Wheel of Time.
Season 2 out.
Yeah. You know, I thought about trying to do some Name of the Wind and go as Quoth. Is that his name? Quoth. But I thought like no one would really get it. But now looking back on it, I kind of wish I had done it because I would have just probably worn like a red wig and then just like I would have been like kind of like a bard type vibe because the
silver pipes, and a loop.
Yeah, like that actually would have
also
been pretty
a really cool sword too.
Maybe next year we'll have to do it again. So
yeah, we'll do like just fantasy every year.
Yeah,
because you know why it's great because it's near Halloween, so everyone can get a costume.
Yeah, you can go to the Halloween store to get your costume,
which is really nice.
Practice the next morning was not super enjoyable.
When I went to bed that night and we had a meeting at 8:30 the next morning, I was like...
Yeah, Riz planned that deliberately too.
I thought, do we really have a meeting the next morning? Why did we host a party tonight?
We should have done Friday, I think. Friday would have been good.
Friday or Saturday would have given us...
More prepared, I think would have been great.
Because then we went first day of training and then into the summit. And then once you're in the summit, it's like you're so busy every day.
A lot of energy as well.
So we were just wiped. So I think there's probably a good transition into a bit of a talk about the summit and our first week of training, which training was very basic this week for all of us because first week back because of the summit. I don't even know what to say about the summit.
It was. I personally think it was great. It's crazy to me when I went to the first one. It was like 100 on employees, 10 athletes. And this year it's 100 on athletes, like 10 employees. So that was cool to see more athletes there, a lot of global athletes, Ben Flanagan, Kieran Lum, Sam Ellis, Hannah Steelman, Aaliyah Miller, like all these different athletes, Courtney Wayman. It was great to like kind of see them and recap the year, but also be able to be engaged in some cool stuff coming up in the next year. I always feel like it goes too long though. I think like 3-4 days is like long. Like 2 days would be great, but I guess it's like really hard to like jam it all together because you want to get the most out of each like segment.
Yeah, if you're gonna be together one time a year, I guess you have to try and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
But
I think it was pretty well put together.
Very well put together.
Some very cool stuff in the future for the brand and the team.
Yeah, it definitely, like when you go through it, you leave very excited about and about everything.
It's a good way to kick off the year.
The shoes, the apparel, all the plans for OAC and all that. Everything is very exciting. So nothing that we can really share except for, we're excited about all that stuff. And our new race uniforms look sick.
They really do.
They look very cool.
Definitely the best ones we've had.
We had a little photo shoot in it yesterday, so very excited for everyone to see that. I don't think we'll be racing it until like late indoors maybe or outdoors. I didn't really understand.
Well, you guys will find out. You'll find out.
You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah. So it was all pretty good. Anything else from the summit?
You guys had your first workout?
Yeah, I had my first workout.
Actually, only did a workout.
Yeah.
We were working out at the same time.
Yeah, we all worked out. You had shoe testing, and then we had some threshold. It was fun. Davidson Mesa was actually nice. No wind.
I had to go run 400s on the track.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for you guys.
Didn't love that. But it was very exciting to wear some shoe prototypes for, I don't even know, next year or the next, some crazy stuff. So it is cool getting to do that, but having to run 60 seconds in the first week of training was tough.
That's kind of brutal. We had the old progression run at Davidson Mesa, which I don't know how many. I've done too many progression runs because I did them all like when we did them at the start of last year, but then also I did 4 in a row. Coming back from injury, and I think I did them all at Davidson Mesa as well. So I'm pretty over. Like it was really good, and I think this is the first time I actually did it really controlled, which was nice, but still so over progression runs. But hey, we got another one on Sunday, so
we do too.
I can't wait. And then next week we get back into more standard stuff, fartlek and threshold or tempo. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, a great week for us, and now we just get to focus in on training for a bit, which I think we're all very happy to be able to get back into our routine that we've been away for so long, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's like when you're like here training and you just do the same thing every week, you feel like it's never going to end, and then you're just like away from it for so long, you kind of just crave it. Like you just want to be back in
just the stability of it for sure.
Yeah. So I think everyone's back in that kind of vibe, which is a good way to feel, I think, starting the year. So we're all excited for that. And I'm not sure how long this episode has been going on for. And I'm a little scared because we could probably talk about this last topic for a very long time, but I think we need to at least give our 2 cents on it. There's been some new news, as we said before, in the ICU, the Ingebrigtsen world. Ollie sent it to us. Ollie, do you want to give the lowdown?
Yeah, so obviously there's been a lot of speculation in the running world about what the relationship is between Gert and Heinrich, Philipp and Jakob, because we knew that they had parted ways a little while back, and obviously Jakob and Heinrich and Philipp have been training themselves, been very successful. We haven't heard much of why this has occurred. People have been speculating and rumoring about it, but the three Ingies released a statement, and it was a pretty powerful one. It was about abuse, physical abuse, violent abuse towards them and maybe other members of their family, in growing up into that kind of system, being athletes and being kind of scared in general, which was quite surreal.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, because you
heavy.
For me personally, like. It's one thing that's amazing is the way Jakob's been able to perform throughout all this, because after winning the Olympic gold medal with your dad, you probably think, well, this is the setup that's got me Olympic gold, and to be able to move past that with his brothers and still he's now a better athlete than he was back then, like it's pretty crazy, like the mental side that you just don't see. And Gert responded to the article that the boys put out, kind of saying that they want their peace, they want their privacy, but they also want people that are around this environment to not be speculated anymore, to kind of move on from this. This is the separation. This is why. Let's move on. Gert kind of said, "This is incorrect. I have, bad situations as a father or as a coach, but I've never been violent. I've never had those tendencies." And you're saying that it was false. So Yeah, reading the article it was an interesting read and it was a tough read. Obviously, it didn't give a lot because of privacy, but to have that information come out, it's massive news. Particularly for like literally the most successful family in track and field in distance.
Can't imagine how it's been received in Norway, because they're like,
the Kardashians
stars in Norway, and Gert would also in his own way be a massive figure as part of it all. But like for us, like being in like the world that we are, like we kind of had all heard like the rumors about it, and it's such a weird one, because like you're like, yeah, Gert, that guy seems really intense. Like I mean, you can kind of like believe it, as like bad as that sounds to say, but it still was just like, I guess like it would suck for them to have all these rumors, because I don't think they had ever said anything publicly like confirming or denying exactly why they left. I'm not sure. Like I can't remember now like how they would answer those questions.
They said no. I remember when there was speculation that Gert might be sick.
Oh yeah,
and then something came up about Gert saying, like they're saying, oh, you're still coached by your father.
Yeah.
And Jakob said no. And that was it. That was it. That's all they said.
And then in the last year, this past season, things got way more tense. Like I think the first year it was like no one really gave it too much extra thought, but this past year with Gert coaching Nordas, and we were hearing all these things about the Norwegian team. I mean, Josh Kerr talked about it a lot, how like weird it was, like getting the medal and stuff, and it became a really big like battle between the two sides, where like I think they were kind of like, a lot of people started to paint Jakob as like this like like not a prima donna, kind of like he was like really like picky, because he had said like he didn't want to be around like Nordas and his
I think he had requested for Gert not to be allowed into the Oslo Stadium for the Diamond League. This year, Gert wasn't allowed to be part of the Norwegian Federation.
Yeah,
like a lot of time, and now it makes more sense that why he wanted that separation, and I mean I feel like I respect that.
Yeah, I think that's.
And I feel like it should be up to the athletes.
Yeah, because they tried to paint it, because no one knew the exact truth. People tried to paint it as like he's just like a prima donna. He just doesn't want people that he doesn't like around him.
And that's what he mentioned. That's what they mentioned
about like Nave. Like he was just didn't want it because he didn't want to get beaten by like this other guy like that his dad's coaching. But it was a lot more than
they
that.
wanted to mention, that was one of the main points in the article that was interesting, was they wanted peace for him. They wanted him to be able to compete and have fun and be a competitor. But they stand by their statement that Gert was abusive. They don't want anything to do with him. They want him removed from their space, from their life, from their professional careers. And I think now we're looking back on it, particularly personally being around Jakob as an athlete, ever since he left Gert, he's extremely different, much more friendly, and he's also been seen to have a good time. He went out in Zurich and was socializing with people. He'd never done that before, from what I've heard from other athletes. So it does seem like he's had more freedom to be able to be himself and to enjoy his journey as a professional athlete and as a person as well.
Yeah, I don't know all the interworkings of them, but it feels like Jakob is still lucky enough, one, to be blessed to be so mature for his age, but I think his brothers and stuff must be really good. Like he's clearly still got a lot of really good people around him,
and a good family support structure.
He's good that he still has that, because it is I think we always forget how young he is. I can't imagine, like personally, if I was that amazing and then I was going through something so serious at that age, it'd be so hard to do it. But up to this point, like he's done so amazing. So credit to them. But yeah, Gert denies it, so it's like still a little bit. I mean,
someone's lying, someone's wrong.
Yeah, someone's lying, which is like not great.
Yeah.
Still, because you don't know, like I guess the full truth. But I think it's hard not to believe the brothers. So.
I agree. I saw something come up. It might have been a rumor or a tweet, but apparently the older brother are saying that the brothers are lying.
Oh, one of the brothers. Well,
there's another older brother.
Yeah,
not a runner. Yeah,
no, not a runner. He's saying that
they're on the younger.
They're lying. That's what he's saying. So there's going to be a lot of drama. This is going to be huge in Norway. You're right. It's going to be all over. Like the media is going to be hounding it down, and this is going to be interesting going into 24, because Nordas is bronze, and Jakob was silver. They're going to be at the Olympics. There's no 3 Norwegians beating those guys. They're going to be at the Olympics. They're going to be in the village together. What's going to happen with the coaching situation? Is Nordas going to have to just not have Gert there because of these allegations from the Ingebrigtsen? And is Jakob going to have to deal with his father being at the Olympics in the village when he's said that he's been abusive to him. Like, that's something that Norway Federation is going to have to like...
Yeah, it's a shit show.
Yeah, because you don't know. It's a who say who thing. I believe the brothers, personally, but it's crazy. Like, that's crazy because that's going to be... Yeah, they're going to be medal potential people, and that's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's crazy that you bring that up, but it does make sense because I remember when I saw Nordas working out in Giavena and he was on the bike, and Gert was on the bike. I don't know the wife's name, but she was there, like, and the youngest and one of their sons was there. So like the rest of the family is all just like still together doing their thing and being supportive of each other, I guess. So that's tough. But yeah, it's crazy that they had a reality TV show for 5 years going into this as well.
And it's crazy that the first episode was, I think, Jakob started to train with the brothers, and the last was him winning the Olympic gold medal.
Yeah,
good way to end it.
You can't write it out any better than that. But now it's gone crazy, and it continues. It's just sad. I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't have any experience with anything like that, so I can't really speak on it that much. But very impressive how the brothers carry themselves from what we see, I'd say.
I mean, to be honest, like, I hate to say it because it probably sounds a bit shitty, but like, that's what's like, they're great. That's why they're great. That's why he's the best runner in the world, because he can deal with something like that, you know.
We'd love to have one of them on.
Yeah, we'd love to have one
listening. If any one of them is listening, we'd love to have any of you on.
But I think it just shows you why, what makes Jakob so different to me by winning a world championship. I mean, look what he's dealt with and look how mature he is at his age. Yeah. Like, you got to give credit to that. And the brothers as well, and their support structure. But I guess this will unfold. This is not the end. I'm sure stuff will come through. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be all over the Norwegian media.
Yeah.
Most of our fan base is in Norway, so that's why we're covering it.
You could call us Norwegian media.
Yeah, we're like the Norwegian media in the US by Australians and a Kiwi.
So. We'll have Norwegian subtitles for this episode.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone listening to us from Norway. But yeah, I think that's it for us. A nice little evening episode for the boys. Gearing up for a big one, a very big one next week. We'll have some exciting things coming, which I don't think we'll reveal any of it now, but maybe along the week you'll get some sneak peeks. But that's it for episode 99.9. I'm not even sure if at the start of the episode I said what number it was. It's 99.9.
Our fans know. Our fans know.
99.9. But thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next week.